Greetings, my name is Liesbeth Koning and this is my electronic portfolio for my practicum in building leadership. This presentation will include my goals, philosophy, activities I completed, including my major objective for the practicum, my summary reflection, annotated bibliography, and signed summative evaluation form. I have been teaching for 6 years. My experience includes 2 years of 8th grade writing and 1 year of 7th grade science in Garden City, Kansas, 1 year of theater and English 10 in Chicago, and 2 years of English as a second language and teacher training in Thailand. My goals for this practicum were to gain experience and insight into the job of an administrator, make a positive impact on the schools I was working with, and clearly convey my learning in my presentations. According to my philosophy, a building leader is foremost responsible for creating a positive and productive atmosphere in the school. This type of atmosphere will set the tone and affect the behavior of both the students and staff members. There are many things a building leader needs to do in order to create this environment. First, they must build positive relationships with students and staff. When people feel like they are cared for as an individual, they will be much more likely to perform at the best of their abilities. Besides building relationships personally, showing you care also includes starting traditions that reward positive behavior and hard work. An example of this is the Pride Side program at my school. Students have multiple ways to earn points. If they reach a certain level of points each 9 weeks, they are rewarded. Secondly, a building leader needs to be able to recognize strengths in their staff members and find ways to use those strengths. A strong leader leads from behind the scenes, empowering those on her team. A strong leader is not someone who tries to do everything themselves. Not only does this require being able to recognize strengths and good communication skills, but also good organization skills. Furthermore, schools require their leaders to be honest and to have policies in place that ensure honesty of everyone involved. A school leader needs to be aware of everything that is happening at the school, from finances to lessons in the classrooms. A good way to get a feel for what is going on in each classroom is to take a few minutes each day to pop into every classroom. Those little snapshots can contribute to a larger picture. In the financial department, a building leader needs to know how to best spend money to the fullest benefit of the students. In a world of tight budgets for education, money management and efficiency is key. Finally, a building leader needs to serve as the connection between the school and the community. It is important to find ways to connect the two in positive ways. Schools are building citizens for this country, so everyone is a stakeholder. A leader should find ways to communicate the positive things that are happening in the school, but also how to take advantage of the many resources found in the community. School-community partnerships are the future of successful education. My major objective for the practicum was facilitating a neuroscience and education course. In my observations, I have found that my district does not look at current brain research enough. In fact, there are things that we are doing that do not match with the findings at all. I offered the 8-week course by Annenberg Learning to all district employees. We met every Tuesday for 2 hours and our conversations were very enlightening. A big focus of the course is to find small ways to make changes and to not expect change to be easy. Throughout the course, individuals were already making changes in their own classrooms. I shared videos and information with my administrators and colleagues, but also my students. This course significantly altered my thinking about the brain. I plan to continue to stay up to date on current brain research and find ways to share this with my colleagues. One of my principals was on sick leave for a significant amount of time, so I stepped in and was assisted with discipline. It is much harder to judge the students' honesty when I do not know them from class every day. I saw the importance of the administrators spending time getting to know students before they're sent to the office. I also assisted with being in charge at sporting events. Extracurricular activities can be very time-consuming, so it is good to share the load. I was invited to speak at a cultural awareness training because of my experience in the Peace Corps. This activity showed me that professional development can be shorter meetings before school as well. I attended a Board of Education meeting and was able to represent my school in receiving an award. The meeting was another reminder of the more political side of education. In addition to sporting events, I also was in charge at a concert. I met a couple of times with the principals at an elementary school and my own principal to discuss their many duties and how I could become involved in them. I took a leadership role in our student assistance team by organizing the meetings including inviting team members, reserving the room, and setting the agenda. The team mostly deals with individualized learning plans for students. The difficult part was making sure that what we were tracking was measurable. I sat in on an elementary staff meeting. Their school was much smaller than mine, but even so, the meeting still had a very different feel than at a middle school. I got a glimpse of the big difference between elementary and middle schools. At the elementary school, I also shadowed the literacy coach. She explained their assessment wall to me as well. A big project I was in charge of at the elementary school was planning the classified staff appreciation lunch. It was a very positive experience as the certified staff were very willing to help out and the classified staff were very appreciative. I always like to have students involved, so the second graders prepared and served the lunch. I don't think that most schools allow students to be involved in school functions enough. I was also involved in the textbook adoption process for this year. Each year, a different subject area gets new textbooks, and this year it was science. I was glad to see that some of the companies were trying to make more technology-integrated materials, but there's still a long way to go. One of my biggest projects was planning the 6th grade night. I've always felt like we do not give our students enough leadership opportunities, and this was proven in the overwhelming interest of students to help out. I had over 100 students say they wanted to help, and 50 actually show up to the event. I had a small group of students who met with me each week to plan the event as well. I told the principal that more opportunities like this need to be given to the students. It was very interesting to be on the administrative side of emergency drills. We have a great team, so everything always went smoothly. Nothing surprised me with shadowing the principals and the district personnel. This is the side of leadership that everyone sees. I really enjoyed attending the differentiation training and bringing information back to my colleagues. I've always enjoyed learning and sharing the knowledge I learned. As our district is looking to integrate more technology, they asked us to present our experience with the technology grant we received in 7th grade science. Our presentation was very influential in their decision to go ahead with the one-to-one iPad initiative at the new high school. And here's just a small clip of our presentation. Being an LEA rep for IEP meetings was most insightful as I had not much experience with the special education department as a teacher. Again, I saw how important it is to have a good system in place and good staff members. Organizing and checking testing data was a big part of my practicum experience. I was shocked at how long it took to get everything organized for state tests. This really cannot be the job of one person, but rather a team of people. It is also important to thank the team of people and try to improve morale in the school community. I helped the principal with this as the testing season approached. Our school organized a community safe fair, which I helped plan and then administer. I was able to shadow a high school associate principal during her walkthrough evaluations. It was very interesting seeing multiple people use the same evaluation tool. It became clear to me how important it is to train everyone on the evaluation tool and make sure it is being used fairly and consistently. Not only did I help organize for testing, but I also proctored one of the tests. I observed the MTSS team discussing different options for testing and collecting data. Our school received a donation for snacks for testing, so I went out and purchased those snacks. I was also able to assist with the new hire interview. Since the interview was happening while school was still in session, I would have wanted to have seen the person teaching a sample lesson. And one of the most informative things I did was shadow the principal's secretary. She has worked at our school for a long time and had her organization down perfectly. There's so many things that she needs to keep track of. I don't know how she does it. She also outlined the steps she takes to make sure that everything she does is transparent for all to see, especially when dealing with the money. When I started this practicum, I thought I would gain a better picture of the full job of a building leader. I anticipated having trouble getting hours and also gaining experience with special education. As expected, I did gain that insight and had no trouble getting hours in a variety of activities. I was able to participate in IEP meetings despite my worry of confidentiality. My biggest surprise came in how evaluations were not being conducted objectively by all. I decided to dig deeper into the issue of how to make sure that all evaluations are being conducted in a fair, open, and objective manner. I read articles and studies, talked with the principal, and looked at the books that our district evaluation tool is based on. All of my reading pointed to how good tools could be used poorly if there's not enough training or system for checking for consistency. I came to the conclusion that I think it is essential to have more than one person evaluate a person at a time, and to use more evidence than just the evaluation tool in order to make staffing decisions. Additionally, the tool needs to be used first and foremost to help teachers reflect on how to improve. Many of the articles I read had to do with neuroscience and education, as that was my major objective. Others had to do with testing and evaluation of teachers. And here is my signed summative evaluation tool. Thank you very much.